All right, man. It's bittersweet. Last race of the year. Got some time, some withdrawals to go through, but it was fun. I think it was a good one. I mean, obviously, Max just drove off into the sunset, but, there was a lot in the midfield that I think was great, and I don't think I can really articulate it as well as Michael can. So with that, for one last time, Michael's Mad Minute. Michael, take it away.
Hey, what's up? They're racing Abu Dhabi. I don't know where it is on a map. Haas, not good. Dead last in constructors. Alfa Romeo, also a poor showing. P9 in constructors. AlphaTauri, Yuki Tsunoda, damn good. Damn good driver, damn good job out of him. Dan Ricciardo's fine too. Williams, both out of the points, but Albon made that fucking speedboat dance all season. Alpine, both out of the points, both it just looks okay. Aston Martin, Stroll and Nando in the points, but Fernando Alonso, P4 in the standings, outstanding work from him. McLaren, P5 and 6, incredible growth from them. Great upgrades from them. Great craft. They are a real threat next season to make some noise. Ferrari, Charles, P2, Mega Drive. It's a shame that team is still wrecked on the inside. Mercedes, George Russell, P3. Mercedes is learning how the other side lives now. Miles Forte. Red Bull, Checo, P2 in the championship and still feels like he did a terrible job. And Max Verstappen completed the greatest season in F1 history.
Yep.
Dude, yeah. That's a real good way to put it. I mean, first of all, Williams eking it out over AlphaTauri. And all of those points are Alex. Like, they're all Alex.
Alex Albon is a fucking fantastic driver.
He's just
give him a car that can win, and he'll give you points. No question about it.
He's like, your team, but I'm just going to put it on my back, and I'm just going to...
Yeah.
But Sargent got first place in the Destructors, though.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, I bet he did.
First place, last place. First place for last.
Yeah. Do we think he keeps the seat?
I would give him one more year. He's a rookie. Give him one more year.
I don't know. I saw a radio transcript between him and his team, and they kind of implied, like, yeah, we'll check the data first before we, like...
It was literally, don't call
anything.
us, we'll call you situation.
Yeah.
I think they should give him one more year.
I think so, too.
I think 1 year for a brand new rookie is not enough to get used to F1 and the travel and all the meetings and the meetings and the meetings.
Yeah. Yeah,
especially when you have drivers like Ocon who are getting sick because they're like putting your body fucking in red.
Yeah, it seems like James Vowles wants to keep him, but he also wouldn't commit to anything. I mean, even the post race, like Laura Winters was asking him questions, and at one point he basically was saying some positive things about Logan, and she's like, "So are you telling me that like we're getting the scoop that he's gonna have the seat next year?" And he's like, "No, I'm not saying that." Like literally just like slammed the door on that like immediately.
The theory was posed to me about what if they win with a pay driver.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with Sargent is his, because they have the cost cap, how much he's cost the company in repairs though.
Yeah, that's not nothing.
So
yeah. And I mean,
if I were them, I'd just have a really good reserve driver on standby. To let Sargent know, like, hey, we need you to do your job. Otherwise, this man will do your job instead. Or woman, if they see she's good enough, will do your job instead.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. I think some of the most glaring, negatives against Sargent this year has been the qualifying miscues. The fact that he didn't even get a time on the board in the last race of the year, especially when it's a track that's like on the F2 calendar and like he's very familiar with it. So it's just some of the biggest excuses or reasonings for Sargent not performing has been he doesn't know the courses or whatnot, or he's new to them. But I don't know. It's kind of concerning when he doesn't perform on the ones that he does know. So, I mean, I also agree. Don't get me wrong. With everything I'm saying, I still agree. Give him another shot. I think he's cost Williams less money than Schumacher cost Haas. So, I mean, if anyone...
That's not a bar to measure against, though.
I understand, but I'm just saying if Schumacher can get 2 years, then I think that we should give Logan 2 years as well. So,
I mean, he got 2 years off of his last name.
Well, that's true, but you still set the precedent at that point, like regardless of why he got it. I'm just saying, like you look at the performance, I think there's an argument to be made, but it will be wild.
Still the novelty of having an American in F1 as well.
Oh, yeah, so 100%. He'll definitely benefit from that, I believe. But at the same time, it's just gonna be wild if he does keep the seat, because then literally there will be no seat changes this year for F1, which is wild. But that's we can get into that more later. But I mean, the race itself was just, I mean, it was funny. You wouldn't think that there was it was handily decided for the constructors and the drivers, because you definitely had some battles going on, and I mean it was great. But I mean, even before that, the FPs, I mean, FP1 was crazy. You had half the field with rookie drivers, in the cars, and it's like you've got a battle between AlphaTauri and Williams. You'd had a battle between McLaren and Aston Martin, I believe, overall for the constructors' point. So it was just, I thought it was crazy that you had so much kind of at stake for some of these mid-pack teams, and they literally have to give up their cars, for super critical FP. What were your guys' thoughts?
I mean, you got to give young drivers some time somehow, and Abu Dhabi is a racetrack that has larger runoffs. So if they fuck up, they won't hit a wall very easily. And the slow corners are very slow, so you fuck up, you're not in danger of doing too much damage. So as far as testing tracks go, it seems like a decent one. If they all forgot, I feel like there are better ones to go to, like, I don't know, Brazil. But that's my opinion.
Do you think?
Yeah, I would have probably had run my rookies like earlier in the season rather than towards the end. Personally, especially during the last race, I would rather have all the testing data for FP1 and stuff like that instead.
Do you think they should move Abu Dhabi? So since it's a good track for testing, do you think you should move it to earlier in the season?
No, because it's not the best track for testing. Like, there are better track for testing than Abu Dhabi. I wouldn't move everything around just for Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I think Abu Dhabi should be moved, or Las Vegas should be moved, because not totally different than testing, but for me, Las Vegas was the last race.
You think Las Vegas should be the last race?
I'm not saying Las Vegas has to be the last race, but Las Vegas seemed like a grand finale as opposed to Abu Dhabi.
True. Fair point.
Literally had an opening ceremonies and a halftime show. So yeah.
That was the American part of it.
But still, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, that's what gives it its pomp and circumstance, its fanfare to make it seem like it's the finale. So I definitely I see what you're saying.
FIA want to party in Abu Dhabi in the season. That's why they go there. So.
So then I think Las Vegas should get moved closer to the beginning of the season then, in that case. And it would make sense to bring Las Vegas close towards the beginning of the season anyways because of temperatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. You could do it around the time that they come to Canada. That would make sense. Yeah. Because I was looking at the calendar, and we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I was looking at that calendar, and it's crazy. It's still, like, I know they're talking about changing how they go to the tracks to make it more efficient for travel. But it is not anytime soon, it doesn't seem like, because it's just like they're still ping-ponging around. It's just funny. It's like, we're going over here for 4, and then we're coming over here, and then we're coming back over here.
Well, I mean, even if they did Vegas before they did COTA, it would still be warmer.
Yeah. No, 100%. And, I mean, I don't think they're going to get around the late race times because of the not being able to close the streets. But... yeah, and I mean, it was I liked watching Jake Dennis because he was driving Max's car, and I really was curious, like, how far up the leaderboard he would be, being in Max's car, and I was actually surprised to see that he wasn't it was Dragovic that had the best times of the rookies or of the testers. I believe so, right? That was it, right? I think it was Aston Martin. I'd have to double check, but I believe it was him. I think he had the best. He had or was it? No, yeah. So he was the best one in Aston Martin. So that I thought that was interesting. First of all,
isn't he an F2 champion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he's fucking quick.
Yeah.
So you mean it's not the car?
It's not just the car.
Not just the car. That's the thing. I just, it's the part. There's just a little part of me that's like, how much of the car is it? Like, if he was like the fastest one out there and he's in the Red Bull, it'd be like, duh. But the fact that there was an Aston Martin ahead of him, like that, that says something. But yeah, I mean, Steve, you said it in your notes. Like, how do you not be shaking in your boots?
So that's the other factors. Maybe he wasn't the fastest because he didn't want to crash. You know what I mean? Like, there's that other aspect of it. Like, I would totally be that person. I'd be like, this car has been like the car of the year. Like, what happens if I crash this right now? Like, all eyes are going to be on me, and I'm going to lose my job, potential job.
Without question, yeah, they probably underdrive the car just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they'd be smart too, that's for sure. Yeah.
Because, like, they're doing that because they have to, not because they want them to be there. So they have to move accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other side of it too is like they get to do this, testing and get their hours and everything, but where's there a seat to be had? Like, you have all these rookies or all these reserve drivers that are getting their times in their seats, and it's just like, when is anything? I mean, their best bets are like Kevin Magnussen and like Nico Hülkenberg. Like everybody else is so young in the grid that, you got your Alonso and stuff like that, but I mean, you've got what, 4, maybe 5 guys that like could actually age out, but that's happening less and less because of the ability to continue on into like older age. It's just what
if everybody races as long as Alonso?
That'd be wild. But not everybody's as good as him, so
That's true.
I think that's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah, but they're getting better and better to where it's harder and harder to discern, that true next level talent to where, to take that risk to where now you've got a team like Haas that's like, I'd rather just have 2 like war dogs, in my car and just slug away and just, for better, for worse, whatever. I know what I'm getting with both of them,
Just as long as they're mid-grid and they don't break anything, and we're fine.
Yeah, exactly. You're kind of getting to that place, which I think is going to get boring because you got to take that risk. Like, I almost want the Checo mix-up to happen just because it gives more, more fluidity, more variety.
That vacuum would be pretty funny.
What was that?
So that vacuum would be pretty fun to watch.
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, shoot, it's just you hear all the reports that, like, Lando Norris saying no whenever they ask him. You're just like, what if he really did actually have the opportunity? Or same with, like, the Lewis Hamilton with, Christian trolling, Toto.
I feel like, no. I said no. I wasn't saying I feel like Lewis would do it, but that's more my heart. That's more what I want. I'm trying to speak of wanting the existence. I feel like he wouldn't leave Mercedes.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
I feel like he has too much sentimental feelings for Mercedes, and I think that's also valid, considering what they've done for his career and what he's done for them. So,
well, I mean, Toto has said it multiple times that he takes it personally that he doesn't have an 8th constructor. So
no, they have an 8th constructor, just an 8th drivers.
Yeah,
they won a constructor in 2020.
Well, I mean, for Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he because he won that and they fucked him. But that's different.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. It's like there's an investment on both of them in Mercedes.
Yes.
Yeah.
To each other, at least.
But it might not matter because Red Bull just says we want it more, and they just go and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was crazy because what?
There are no new spots until 2026 when Audi comes on. I think.
I
don't. Apart from either one of Zhou, Sargent, or God forbid Yuki loses their spot. I don't see a spot opening up till the end of next year.
Yeah, I think sadly you're right. That's the nutty part. I mean, I thought Ferrari was gonna take Mercedes in the constructors this year too, but I mean, Carlos cannot get away from a dirty track, he just
Carlos has had bad luck, but also Ferrari's overall has had bad luck for a while. So
yeah.
Okay, but so since he got screwed in Las Vegas and they penalized him for his car, this track they had the rookies. So if a rookie crashes and they have to replace a part that they're going to get penalized for, who gets penalized?
I mean the team, and they just sort that shit out and like politically internally.
Oh, so it's like. Oh, because it's like Sainz's car and a rookie crashes it. Then Sainz gets
your car's
the grid
fucked,
penalty.
So we have to repair it anyway. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So it's that kid's fault, but it happened, so it doesn't matter now.
That's so dumb.
I mean that part's racing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, the FIA made the requirement for the rookies to drive.
Okay, so are we going to charge our techs when our trucks get in accidents, or are we charging the company?
depends on the accident, I guess.
No,
How fast they were driving.
The liability goes with the company.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The
at the
driver
same
has
time,
to be grossly negligent for that ever
Right.
to come back onto them.
yeah.
It was like if the driver was there in like on ketamine and crashed the car.
Yeah.
Then I feel like they probably take him to court and have him pay the damages. I think that's true, but that's not happening here.
Yeah. No, I agree. Then what was this about Max passing Merc in the pit lane? I didn't even see that. I must have
Oh, you
missed
didn't
that.
see that?
No, I missed that.
I saw that because it was stupid.
Yeah.
Basically, it was Max was in a hurry to get out on track, and there was like a queue. And to his credit, the queue was going pretty slow out of the pit lane. And he tried to basically ride the curb and go around the queue, and then the queue, someone in the queue stopped much to slow him down, and he complained about it.
Then they made the rule that you can't do that.
Oh, I did hear about that. I just didn't actually see it.
So because it was around that.
It was very
turn
silly
part,
to watch. Yeah.
He was just on the side, going around.
It's a very beautiful, very narrow pit exit.
Yeah.
And he tried to make it a 2-car pit exit, and they just kind of just said, no, you wait your turn.
Is that another record that Max has, number of rules implemented because of him?
Probably.
I don't know, because they're up to fucking weird shit in the 80s, so.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, it's either him or Lewis. I swear, just start calling Lewis or Max rules number 1 through fucking 150, because it's just
the fucking manual whisperer.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude. Just well, it's not against the rules. Same with Russell with his runoff tactics. Jesus Christ, he does that because he knows he can. And actually, because they don't change the rules.
That's him daring the stewards to do anything about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He understands that it's not fair and it's been done to him. So it's now he's just using the rule to his benefit.
Well,
and
no, I would do it because each track has different stewards. You just want to see what the fuck they're all about. It's are they going to call this or they're not going to call this?
Right, but
it's like American basketball. It's you go to the lane. Are they calling fouls here tonight or not? And you just accordingly. I feel like that's part of it.
Well, but also the first 2 turns of any track is probably the safest time to do that because they're just it's the start of the race. Fuck, all bets are off.
Pretty much. Not less than ideal temperature tires though, so I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's partly why they give the okay with a lot of the sliding and because you got Max.
Yeah, like pack racing, sure, yeah.
Yeah, but there's just a way to exploit it. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. So it's Anyways, GP.
Back to Sainz getting screwed by the track though.
Oh yeah.
So they said it was dirty air first, but then they said it was bumpy track. So it's which one was it? What do you guys think?
I bet it both.
Yeah, I think dirty track. It seemed pretty cluttered, and it seemed like F2 cleaned it up a little bit. But even in the race itself, you could see the grained rubber on either side of the track on the straightaways and stuff like that. So
no, there was I saw it the day after it happened. Mm-hmm. There's a picture of they ground down the track in that area.
Oh, really?
So there was a bump in the track actually.
Oh, and that's so similar to what happened in Norris last race. He bottomed out. He bottomed out and lost control. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think it's dirty air at all. I think it was dirt a track. I think it was track flaw, but that's just me.
And he just messed up. In Las Vegas, that was a part of the track coming out of the ground and harming the car. That's different. Here is the track got changed a bit and he couldn't handle it. And I think that's what a racing incident.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get that. I can get with that. But AlphaTauri really fought to beat Williams, and Tsunoda just he put up as best he could, and of all the times for Ricardo not to get up into the points, he raced really well. It was crazy to have a point where he's leading the race and you're just oh shit, get it. Yeah.
Dude, I was literally just looking down at my phone. I was yeah, Max in the head. It's just going to be a regular race. And then all of a sudden they're and Tsunoda's in the lead. I was what? What the fuck?
I know. When I first saw it, I had been doing something else, and so I had to rewind because I'm wait, what had happened? And I realized it was actually just pit pit
Yeah,
stops, and
yeah.
it's just that point where it looks like he's in front or he's in first for the time being or whatever. But still, I mean, he held off Hamilton at the end. Like that was some really good defensive driving that he had, to get as many points as he did. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. But I mean,
He was one of the few racers to have any leading laps this season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, other than it being Max, I think that's the thing, and even a lap led is valuable at this point, in the year. But yeah, no, I think he did really well. I think he's really proving to be a good number one driver for AlphaTauri, and I think next year he'll advance even more.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if he stays with AlphaTauri.
I mean, I don't really know where else he's gonna go, aside from Red Bull itself. But I don't see.
Dude, if he replaced Checo,
he's not to give it to Ricardo whether he deserves it or not.
Yeah, I think that's the case, and I think
Horner has too much of a hard on for Ricardo for him not to do it.
Yeah, I think isn't Ricardo his discovery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well. So.
Yeah. So I think that's why. But I think
they're going to be like, well, also just probably like, he used to be in the car before, and look what he did back then. Even though the car was like 6 years ago, and that's a different car entirely. He's also a different driver now. But they're going to say that and justify it. Yeah. So.
Well, and Yuki, I think, still has a little bit to go. Like his fiery side, I think, really hinders him at times, and I think
does it?
You don't think so?
I mean, like, drivers swear all the time.
I'm not talking about his swearing. I'm just like it doesn't sound like his brain is like the synapses are connecting when he's like that mad, and like you can't.
Yeah, but like then he makes the car getting the point. You're like, how the fuck he did that?
Right, he does that, but those are the races that he's not losing. I'm saying like there's a direct correlation to like Yuki like crackling his mic like with rage and like his performance versus like a low key.
I feel like it happens every race. We just hear about the ones where he finishes poorly.
Fair. I mean, if that's the case, then that's good. I mean, I think
that's the way
I still think he's got another year or two before he's ready for a premier seat. But that's just my opinion.
I agree with you, but also say and Ricardo as well.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just saying it's not. It doesn't seem fair to me. Is all.
I don't think so either. But then F1 is very rarely fair.
Agreed. Agreed.
Ironically.
Isn't that what the F in F1 stands for?
Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it stands for money. So.
Yes. For money.
For money.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean I shit, I lost my train of thought. Steve? Kick it to you.
Yeah.
What are next thing for the GP?
Let's see. The Russell and Piastri battle.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of that?
It was fine. I mean, at least in racing, it didn't stick out to me as like crazy. It's like, oh, good racing. Keep doing that, please. That's kind of how I saw it.
Piastri impressed me.
Yeah, he's been impressive this whole season.
Russell's Russell, but Piastri, I was like, dude. In my eyes, he's up there with Tsunoda. He's probably the best rookie this year.
He's better than Tsunoda.
Okay, but I'm just saying. Tsunoda's got some tenure on him at least, but I'm just saying.
But Piastri's like a better driver, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and again, I think it's...
But Piastri is also in a better car now since they did the upgrades, so...
True, but also, like, he's been that dude. They gave him the car, and he's been that dude. So
true.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought it was really good. I thought it was too short-lived. It was disappointing that he was defending so well, and literally the moment the engineer tells him good job, he locks up in like the next corner. So that was kind of
not in the braking.
Exactly. So that was the only thing that I thought was that kind of bummed me out because again, I think Piastri does have a little more skill, and I think Russell benefits greatly by the conditions of specific tracks, and when that happens, he just right place, right time type of situation. I mean, myself personally, I think Alex, Albon, and Lando are better than Russell like general drivers myself personally. I think that he benefits more by the car than anything else. Like, but that's just me. I just, and it may be just I have a little bit of a sour like taste in my mouth because of all the times that Russell like compliments himself on like passes and stuff. And I'm just like,
solid work. Just solid.
Let someone else do that.
It was pretty good.
Don't pat yourself on the back.
I've heard other drivers do it too. So I'm like,
well, I know they do, but I
can't
just
draw my
think
line
I just more recent with Russell. Maybe like that's the only thing. And there are just times where it's like like again, kind of going back to like the LED wall with Russell and like the Jesus pose. Like he thinks too highly of himself as like he's like the savior of like Mercedes right now, and it's just like, no man, you're just like, yeah. You're benefiting by the car not being that good. Once the car is good, Lewis is gonna leave your ass in the dust, and he's gonna like make you look like a clown. Like, Lewis doesn't care.
He just got P4 and he beat both McLaren. So I'm like, that dude's not a slouch.
He's not a slouch. I'm not saying he's not a slouch, but I feel like the head, the ego is just expanding unjustifiably. That's all. I mean, maybe
I feel like it's justified.
Really?
He has to compliment himself because of his childhood trauma. We all know that.
His teammate is arguably the best driver who ever lived.
Yeah.
And he's not doing too bad.
No,
I think there is confidence to be gained from that.
I'd agree. I'd also maybe hot take, maybe Lewis is slipping a little bit because he is,
maybe so.
Not performing as well as Russell. Because that's the thing. At times, I'm like, I think that Russell isn't like the best of the number twos or even some of the ones, on the other teams. But again, that's just more of like just because there's so many outliers from a standpoint of the good performance. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'd be interested to see like Lando in that Mercedes seat, or
I don't think he'd do any better.
You don't?
I think they're about the same level. Lando and Russell.
I feel like Lando has better racecraft. Like I feel like Russell is just that because of like those mistakes that he's made where he doesn't have patience. Like that's that's the concern.
I think Russell has the capabilities, but he gets his blinders on and he just goes full force and just forgets about everything in some instances. That's his downfall.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. But anyways,
he'll be okay though. He's gotten so much better. And
he just gets tunnel vision. He just gets tunnel vision and it goes all or nothing.
Yeah, and I think honestly, it really comes from a place of me having high regard for Russell at the beginning of the year, of thinking how good he was from last season, and then just kind of seeing how things have unfolded. Like that's the only reason that I kind of, I guess, expected him to kind of have more of an upward trajectory this year. Again, like Michael said, he's no slouch. Like, he's not performing poorly by any means. Like, again, it's not a Checo situation where even though he's second in the constructors, you're like, man, you've raced like shit this year. It's definitely not that situation. But it's just more of one of those things where you're just like, is he good enough to continue just being that number 2 in Mercedes? Or should, is there a chance that they ever swap out, Yeah.
Not as long as Toto's there.
Yeah.
As long as Hamilton and Toto's there, Hamilton's gonna be number 1.
Yeah. Well, no. I was meaning George. being there.
Oh,
that's what I was saying. I
thought you were implying George become number 1 on Mercedes.
Oh no. I was more meaning like, could you bring in another number 2 and have them perform better than even George was? Because there are times where because that's the thing. Think of all the races that Hamilton hustled the car. And did his hammer time shit, and Russell was like 5-8 places back.
Yeah.
So that
maybe
was
only Sainz. I think that's it.
What was that?
Only Sainz can do it.
Only Sainz could do what?
Be a number 2 who could outdrive George.
Okay, fair. Yeah, okay. You don't think Piastri could outdrive George?
Not yet, but I think he can in like 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
If not next year, depending on how good.
Okay, I was gonna say next year. So yeah, logic is sound.
That kid's real.
Yeah,
that kid's real. Yeah.
And again, not to harp on it, but his demeanor, like he seems like one of those. He just seems like a sleepy puppy dog. Like he just so chill and just like I just went out and did that thing. I'm actually kind of mad at myself. I didn't like perform well on turn 4 and 5. Like I think I could have done better. Like I'm just like.
Piastri's just like.
No,
let's go race, dudes.
I mean, like I said, he's either figured out life or he's fucking not okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty damn confident not to go to Alpine, so like, kudos to him on that one.
Yeah.
You know, so
No, that was a big ball move, and he had the balls to pull it off, and it was really cool.
Yeah,
to
it
watch it be
definitely-
pulled off correctly.
definitely worked out for him too. So, I do think it was funny that Alpine undercut themselves. That was pretty good. I think that's like the second or third time.
Gasly
too.
was pissed, dude.
Yeah. That's a good representation of their entire company.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Also, they did have their team principal fired just like 3 days after a podcast about him trying to make his team better came out. So,
wait, what?
yeah, the F1 Beyond the Grid podcast, which has people all year, had Akmar on there, and it was like, it was someone to the tune of trying to raise Alpine to a top level team, was the title, and then he was fired like 3 days later. Let's see if I can find the actual title. It was very hilarious.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because I mean, I think that's the second or third time they've done that to each other, and it's funny because all year they've been going along, and Pierre and Ocon have been playing nice.
It says leading Alpine upwards. That's what it was. Yes. And then he was fired 3 days later.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's the most F1 thing.
Which,
that
to be
could ever
fair, I
happen.
wouldn't say it was deserved, but I will say it was earned.
Oh yeah.
They lost both Alonso and Piastri. Mm-hmm. Because they had their head up their own ass. So
Yeah. Yep. And then they proved everyone right the following year.
yeah, that's why they left the company. It's like, this is why we left you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So that wasn't good. I mean, yeah. I'll be curious if he ever makes it back into the grid, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Piastri was able to make that stick, because I mean, he could have looked really dumb. He could have looked like a real idiot, like, you know, and kind of similar to like what was it? Like when Sainz left McLaren and Lando was giving him all this shit for leaving because they were going to be doing so well, and then like the first year of the new body style was just like, nah, I think Sainz is really happy that he's not on McLaren. I think he thinks that was a really good idea at this point, but yeah. And then, I mean, like, kind of back to the Russell thing, like checking in on Hamilton, like I feel like that's unnecessary. Like, you know, like it's kind of like the junior analyst like checking in on the manager, be like, hey, could you submit your time card? He's like, dude, I'll do my time card when I check your time card, so you can fuck yourself. Like, but how angry he was when they didn't really give him
his
any
response.
information.
Because the coach was just like, you know, like giving him like the kosher, like, hey, just race your own race. He's racing his race. He's got other things to worry about, basically, and which understandable. Like, you shouldn't be worrying about that. Like, focus on what's ahead of you. Mm-hmm. But his response is just like, what kind of fucking answer is that? Like,
which is fair. I mean, you're under a lot of stress, and you know, tensions are high. It was just really in the moment. It's just like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, what the fuck's he gonna do? Like, but yeah, and I mean, then Checo's penalty, just
well, I mean, before that,
oh yeah, go ahead.
but I think it goes back to what you were saying about Russell and shit. I lost my train of thought. It goes back to what you were saying about Russell thinking he's the savior of Mercedes, because the reason he was asking that is because if Hamilton was too far behind, then that means he has to make up more points somehow. So he's got to put the pedal to the metal, blah blah blah, type of thing.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Which is admirable, honestly. I mean, like, you probably just classify this as hating just to hate, but I mean, it's just that's the thing, is it just starts to be like a little bit up its own ass.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing. It's just like, it's too much. Like, it's still racing at the end of the day, you know, like you're racing cars. So, but yeah, I can appreciate the passion though. Like, I'll say that, like, the want to win and everything like that, and like seeing the look on his face at the end of it all, like, yeah, I mean, he really put it in there and he deserved what he got. So I feel really bad for him though after like all of that. I'm like, oh man, was he like top 5 in the constructors, and then he's like 8th in the drivers, and I was just like, oh fuck, yeah. I guess Russell did need that. He did need that last race. Like,
Yeah.
give him those points. But yeah, because then you got like Albon out qualifying Sargent every single race, and then I don't know if any of you had seen the tweet, but Red Bull tweeted like a snarky tweet. It was like, oh, the last time that happened was Max out qualifying Alex when he was racing for Red Bull. I was like, oh fuck, dude, that's well played, but shit, dude.
Dude, well, they had a snarky remark because Monster is gonna be a sponsor of McLaren,
Oh,
and they got a picture of Norris drinking a Red Bull, and then Red Bull posted something that was like, "We'll always be there for you, Norris. Red Bull gives you wings," like something like that. It's like, dude,
that's great, dude.
marketing geniuses.
I know, it's wild. It's so cool. They basically get paid to spend money. I love it.
Yeah. But Checo's penalty.
Yeah, I think I mean I'm with him. I think it was a joke. Like I don't think that was warranted at all. I think that was some bullshit. Like I'm tired of the extremes. Either the FIA doesn't report or make a decision quick enough, or the right one, or they make a knee jerk like bad decision and then they stand by it. And I don't know. They need real professionals in there. They shouldn't be these volunteers. Like they should actually have people that are qualified to make these kind of judgments, or have AI do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Checo had his wheel like all the way turned as far as he could. He's making the turn as tight as possible, like, and he just got turned in on.
Yeah, it seemed like a race incident to me.
Yeah, I don't think it was something punishable by 5 seconds.
Michael,
the fact that stewards are different at each race and each have their own different like parameters, I assume all penalties are garbage until proven otherwise. So I'm gonna say it's bullshit.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why there can't be some sort of consistency. I don't know why you couldn't have at least have a committee for like the 4 regions, like north, south, east, west. You know what I mean? Like, so they don't have to travel too much. You don't have to have that expense for travel, but like you could still have some sort of consistency depending upon the region, you know, or you understand what you're dealing with, or you train the regions, you know, kind of along the same lines or whatever.
But then you have the possibility that they're getting paid off if you have the same people.
That's true. I mean, they should be cycled, but I think there should be a pool that you're able to kind of like referees for like the NFL.
Yeah,
but
that's
better.
what I was going to say. Referees for the NFL.
Yeah. I think there should be a way of being able to like keep that rotation to where you eliminate bias, and like obviously you don't want like Monaco natives being stewards at Monaco, you know, if they have a loyalty or whatever, but like that also could be a good thing. Maybe you do want locals that really know the track, or maybe you want local racers that's their home track, so they really understand, you know, where a driver is going to be taking advantage of the rules, you know, kind of a thing. So it's kind of similar to like, was it Mexico where there was that blind corner, or which one was it? I forget what it was, but there's like a blind corner where basically the drivers were able to literally like cut the corner, and Checo was like cutting a corner, and like there's no evidence of it because there were no cameras on the corner. So it's just like stuff like that. Like you'd be able to understand that if you're a native or local, you know. So
yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I think that's similar to what Michael says. Like until they fix that, everything's bullshit. And you know, it's kind of like again in the NFL, there's holding on every play. You know, it's when they call it is arbitrary to an extent, and when they do call it, they have to call another one to like even it out, so that when you statistically look at the calls, no team had an advantage. But you know, timing always plays a factor as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, other than that, go ahead.
But because Checo got the 5 seconds, how impressive was it that Leclerc helped him out?
I mean, yeah, I don't know why he did, but it was.
Well, because if Mercedes got the point, then they would have beat Ferrari in the constructors.
Yeah.
So Leclerc is on playing 3D chess, dude.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. He's trying to get him that extra 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Leclerc had to stay within the 5 seconds, but try and push Russell outside of the 5 seconds.
Yep.
He had the right mindset, but not enough laps.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that was the thing. It fighting a losing battle, especially once Signs went out. Like that was the thing. As soon as Signs was out, you're just like, fuck, because they would have had a legitimate chance if Signs was still in that race, you know. Because there's just, I mean, that was crazy. I mean, what is it? 4 points separating some of these guys.
Yeah, it was close.
I mean, it's just what is it?
But guess what? The sprint points wouldn't have changed anything.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That makes me so annoyed. The sprint, I'm afraid they're going to turn the sprint into something like they do with MotoGP, where it's going to be every race. And I really... Well,
supposedly, I think the next season they're supposed to have 6. But supposedly, I think I was reading it the way I understood it. They're going to have FP1 on Friday, then the qual for sprint qual, and then they're going to have the sprint on Saturday morning, and then the qual for the GP Saturday afternoon, and then the GP Sunday.
I mean, it might not be as shitty, but my question is,
but there's no park Ferme.
There's no Parc Ferme.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So they can set up different from the sprint for the next qual for the GP.
That may actually be okay then. My only concern would be is that you're in the sprint race. What if you wreck in the sprint race and then you have qualifying?
Yeah, I know.
So that's
not only that, but then you still have like no testing time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I don't know. That's crazy. But I mean, yeah, the standings aside from Red Bull is, I mean, shit. Mercedes 409 to Ferrari's 406. Jesus. And then like McLaren's 302 to Aston Martin's 280. Like, yeah. And then Williams eking it out 3 points over AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
It's just like outlasting like game of attrition. And then you've got the drivers themselves. What was it? I think Leclerc and Alonso tied, but Alonso gets it.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty good. But I also thought it was funny that Daniel, I mean, I know we're kind of flipping him shit, but like it's pretty impressive that he got 6 points for only racing like what?
12 races.
4 races?
Well, no, he broke his hand. So 8 races?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mean, there are guys that were there all year that have less points than him, you know. So I think that's kind of cool for him at least.
Yeah.
Give him some confidence.
Good
going
for
into
him.
the
He
season.
beat Sargent.
And Joe and Kevin and Lawson. The sad thing is Lawson beat Sargent. That was one thing that I thought of, was like that would be the wild one, is if Lawson picked up that Williams seat.
I don't think Lawson would take it.
I don't think he would either. He's holding out for that Red Bull seat.
I think he would go to AlphaTauri.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, but that still puts him in the track for Red Bull.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's one for the ages this year. I mean, how do you guys feel? This is your first like full year, right,
Second.
Steve?
Yeah, I missed like four races of the season.
Yeah, and then Michael.
But dude, what a great season to watch full, because like every record has been broken pretty much by one person.
Yeah,
I don't know what records are left.
Yeah, it's been something else. I mean, it's.
I mean, kind of boring, but at the same time, history making.
I thought like reliability. Yeah. I just thought it was gonna be an issue at some point, but it just kept rolling on, and every time like I'd watch a podcast where like, but they can't win every race, can they? It's like, well, no, apparently not, because Singapore was a dumpster fire. But like everything else, yeah, they can. Like,
I like the memes I'm seeing where it's just like nobody's perfect. It's just like Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, signs, Red Bull, Red Bull. Like,
yeah, exactly. Michael, what do you think? This is your second year, so you have a point of reference from last year.
Yeah, it's be more Red Bull. This is gonna happen again. That's what is gonna happen again. And one more time probably after that. So.
It's all right. It's setting up for what we've been fantasizing, Michael. Well, it's gonna be Verstappen and Hamilton with 7 championships each, going for their 8th.
That'd be cool.
Battle Royale.
And it's gonna happen at some point, I guess, at this rate.
It's gonna have to. Hope
because
so.
like I don't see Red Bull getting worse. I see them getting better.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna do this again.
I mean, it was very concerning to hear Jake Dennis be like, "We stopped developing the car in Singapore."
Yeah.
Like, what now?
Yeah, they probably did. That's what happens.
Say that again. That was my trick here. Did you say Singapore? You stopped developing the car completely? Okay,
They probably
cool.
did.
Sick. I really hope that's a lie.
It probably isn't. You're probably doing it
Well,
again.
either it's way better than the RB19, or
It's hilarious. Yeah.
it's gonna flop.
Yep. Because apparently they're changing concepts, so we'll see. Either.
Oh, Adrian knew he had an epiphany? Fuck us. Okay. Fuck everybody else then. Okay.
He drank a little bit too much wine and absinthe one night and was inspired.
That's not a good sign at all for the rest of the teams.
So we'll see. I mean, it could be sorry, Michael, it could be a Mercedes situation where the one different car suffers, but
Yeah, probably not, though, because they're not going to change it that much. Is again, like, Mercedes situation was a complete change of regulations. They're just trying to make the car they have faster.
yeah.
So they're going to try to, at worst, bring the same car they brought this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see them fucking it up.
How many copies do you think we have next year?
At least one.
Yeah. Who do you think it is?
This is funny, Aston Martin. They're fucking do it again.
It's gonna be AlphaTauri because they're using the RB19.
No, you'd think so, but they also seem like they're garbage, so I don't think they're going to do it. Or they'll
gonna
try and they'll fuck it up.
They're just
And
gonna
it'll be slower.
They're just gonna steal Max's car out of the museum and like repaint it.
So yeah, AlphaTauri did talk about using a clone RB19 already.
Hey man, I mean, what was it? The Racing Point was the pink Mercedes one year. Like it definitely.
And guess what Racing Point became? Aston Martin.
Oh man, and just because we have to touch on that, like Stroll just decided to race all of a sudden these last
dude,
2
what the fuck?
races. Like I don't know
If he did
what's
that all year, no one would say anything.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I would
it's still
never
called a
come
nipple
with-
baby, but it wouldn't be as venomous.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, I'm just jealous that he gets this opportunity instead of
Right.
being like, why does he get this opportunity? He's trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, let's see if he can keep it up. I mean, maybe this is a new Stroll. You know, I say that.
If he
and
can
then-
keep being consistent, everybody will shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, everyone in their right mind will shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be people who are crazy who will say whatever the fuck they want to say.
Well,
Some
yeah.
people out there who say with a straight face that Lewis Hamilton's actually not a good driver. It's just a car that got him the title. Like that it happens ever. But the rational ones will understand that
Yeah.
if Stroll does his job, they can't say anything.
Well, when we first started this podcast, like we were talking at the beginning about Stroll, and we're like, he's not a horrible driver. He's just blah blah
He's
blah. It's
inconsistent
like
as fuck.
midfield, blah blah. And then he got really shitty,
Right.
and then now all of a sudden he's like up at towards the top. Like, bro, what is going on?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do like an edit of all the things we've said about Stroll just to show the bell curve of just like, yeah, I mean he's okay. I don't understand why people hate on him so much. Like he's a fucking drag on the entire fucking racing community. I don't know why
He is
he's
having
even
relations
here.
with his sister. I heard it from a reliable source.
Yeah.
And then back up to like, you know what? He's doing pretty good. It's nice to see him like succeeding.
Yeah.
Oh well, whatever, dude.
No, I see that shit. I go good as you should be, and I don't think about it at all.
100%. I mean, the biggest thing
It's
is
like
just,
Checo getting like what P4 or something. P2 was he Checo P2 or P4 this race?
You know what it was? I know what it
4.
was.
Yeah, I'm
It
like
was
you. As you
because-
fucking should be.
Yeah. What was that?
It was because they left him off the posters at Coda. That got him in gear.
Yeah.
He was like, oh shit.
That lit the fire.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe Dad doesn't love me.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, either way, it's been a wild year altogether. I mean, just Max breaking every record there ever could be, and still having room to be better. I think that's the craziest part is there still hasn't been perfection, and it's good. I mean, it's a good thing ultimately. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I'm gonna miss it. We're gonna definitely be chatting to deal with my withdrawals in between in the off season. But overall, this is a great race to end on, and I've enjoyed all the ones we've covered together. So for one last time, officially for Racewise, thanks everybody for watching. Give us a like, subscribe, give us a comment, let us know what you think. If you have any questions about F1 in general, give us something that we could cover in the future. Aside from that, thanks, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Later. Do you know what other record Red Bull broke?
What?
Next year's entry fee for Red Bull is over $10 million. Because they performed so well, they're gonna have a record-breaking entry fee.
Yeah, and you know what Red Bull says?
Send them my regards.
Thank you. Send them my regards. Oh my god, I'm gonna have that clip for myself personally, just to send to people. I'm just gonna send that audio clip to people. Send them my regards.
Yes, dude.